Hey, welcome back to the next video in the Unreal Engine UI tutorial series. It's taking Grace back here, and we just finished our warning system where we can pick up a lot of potions and then try to pick up more items, and it'll tell us no, and item cooldown active, all that kind of stuff. Anyways, yeah, so that's what we did in the last video. This video we're going to work on the use item slash the action inventory, the action thing where we're going to click on here, and it's going to bring up a little box and we can do some stuff with items in our inventory. Alright, so let's get started on that here. Let's just open up our UI widgets folder, and we're going to make a new widget. And user widget, and we'll call it action menu. And let's open that guy up. And okay, so let's get started with this. So we will need a canvas panel. Add a couple of things here before we get started on the actual design of it. Canvas panel, and then we're going to want to do a vertical box. And after the vertical box, we want to do a button. We'll just do one button for now, and then we will duplicate it once we have it all figured out. Canvas panel, we don't need to do anything with. Vertical box, we need to, we need to keep it up in the corner here. And the reason for that is because we're going to add this to screen, so it'll look like however the design will be. It'll be about, you know, this big. And we want to add it to, just hit play here. Basically, whenever we click on one box, we want to add it over this box and not necessarily like in the center or anything like that. So yeah, that's how we're going to be designing this thing. But we need the canvas panel in order to slot it to that box, or to that inventory slots, essentially. It'll all make sense later on here. But anyway, so vertical box, the size, we're going to size to content. And that's all we need to do there for now. We're going to focus on the button. So for the button, let's start with the normal here. Let's do a rounded box, and the tint is going to be, we'll do dark and 0.7 as the thing. This image size, we will make, oh geez, let's do like 50? Oh, that's too small. 100 by 50 for now. And maybe we hit, yeah, we'll figure out, once we get the text in here, we will, we'll figure all that out here. But anyway, so that's looking pretty good. We got the rounded box. We will get rid of this just so we can see our stuff. So you'll notice, like, this widget has a bit of a white outline, and that's just because if we go to outline settings, we have an outline here. So if you don't like that, you can just literally hit 0. And it should get rid of that, but it seems to have persisted. So let's just do minus until, oh, it's, how about this? Alpha 0. It's still there, man. What's going on? 0. Alright, well, we'll just live with it, I guess. So the corner radius, let's just do, like, yeah, 5, I guess, in each. I don't like the width. Let's do, like, 30. Yeah, that's what I want. There we go. So yeah, we still got that outline, though. I don't know what that's about here. Maybe the outline should just be black. There we go. Inherit? Or, yeah. There we go. Okay, so we'll just make it black, and then that makes it go away. Okay, so that's what we want for that particular button, but obviously we want to do these ones. So if you actually right-click and go copy and then paste over top of hovered and pressed, then it literally copies all the settings, and we don't have to deal with doing all that again. The only thing we want to change is the tint. So we'll make the tint for hovered the same as the rest of our UI, and then for pressed, we'll just make a new one here. The tint will be like this, like light blue, and we'll add that light blue to this little thing here. Alrighty. So that's all we need to do for the button, except our sound. I forgot about do this in another video, so we'll do switch on for the press sound because that's the louder one, and switch off for the hovered because that's the quieter one. After we've done that, let's rename or get a text here, and we'll put the text over top. And this text will be, we'll just call this use text. Does not need to be variable, and we'll just say use Use item. Let's do use item. Okay, that made everything much bigger, didn't it? So let's padding. We'll get rid of that. And let's go back to the button. Can we like size to content? Or actually, you know how we do that is we do that with the font. There we go. Let's go like 12. Yeah, we'll do 12. Let's rename this button to use button. And that should be all we need, except the use button. We actually do need to add some padding. Let's add padding on the bottom of 10. And that'll give some space between the next couple buttons. We're going to duplicate use button twice. And this next one, we'll open up the text and we'll call it drop item. And then we will rename this to drop text. And rename this to drop item button. Sorry, drop item button. Button. This one, we'll go to the text and we will say cancel. Rename the text to cancel text. I totally spelled that wrong, didn't I? Cancel text. And then this will be the cancel button. Alright. Okay, the next thing, the vertical box, we need to actually make this, I believe, yeah, we need to make vertical box a variable. We're going to call it button area. And we need to make sure the button area is visible, because otherwise when you leave this button and go to this little space between the buttons, it's going to make your menu disappear. But the button area is this giant box right here, so that means that you'll be inside this the entire time. So that's why we're going to make that visible. Okay, we're going to go into our graph now, and we're going to make some stuff, starting with some variables. So we'll open this, or we'll do this, and we will make one called index to ref. I'll make that an integer, and we will make another one called quantity, and which is also an integer. Oh, come on. Come in. Come in. There we go. Quantity. We will make this instance editable, and we'll make the this instance editable as well, both of them. Okay, so out of event construct, we're gonna get actor of class, and that'll be our HUD class. Promote that to variable per usual. HUD. Alrighty, so we'll hit compile, and we'll get rid of event preconstruct and event tick. Whoa! We don't need that. All right, after that, we're going to do another couple collapse graphs, just because this could get pretty ugly. So it's just good to keep them all in collapse graphs. So first one we're going to do is we're going to do the cancel button, because it's the easiest one to deal. So we'll get the cancel button, we'll make that a collapse graph, and we'll do cancel button. Okay, we'll put an execution pin in there, and then we will open that guy up. The output we'll just put over here for now, just to get it out of the way. So a couple things we need to do here. We're going to be doing a lot of duplicating and stuff, and just renaming of things, but it's just way faster than doing it all from scratch. So we got the cancel button here. We need to drag out of there, and we need to assign on hovered. And what we need to do is we just need to I think we need to get our player controller. Get player. Yeah, we do. Player controller. And we need to set mouse. Set current mouse cursor to hand. Okay, we'll plug that in to on hovered. We will get the cancel button again. And we will assign on unhovered. And it'll be this same setup, except it'll be the default. Okay, and then finally on the cancel button, the last one will be on clicked. So we'll assign on clicked. We'll for pretty much all of these, we're doing the clicked one last because it has the most code. But I mean, in this case, it's not even that big of a deal. It's remove from parent is all we need to put. Remove from parent. So in all of these widgets, all of these blueprints, you're going to notice that we're not using visibility nodes, and that's just because it just turned into an absolute nightmare when I was doing my prep project, and I found that removing all the visibility nodes and just doing remove from parent and add to viewport was the most effective way to get this all done. So we're going to... So after that, we are going to... drag this into output, and that'll be the end of this little subgraph. We are going to duplicate this. And we're going to rename this use button. Okay, so inside use button, everything will be the exact same. The couple things we have to change. First off, make sure you grab use button and actually replace all of these cancel buttons, because that'll turn into something. Okay, the next thing, these events are, like, so technically these subgraphs exist in the same space. So we have 3 functions that are named the exact same thing, so we just need to rename this, like, just go to the beginning and just add use on hovered, use on unhovered, and use on clicked, and that way they're different events now, so they can actually exist in the same space. So so we are going to remove from parent, but before we do that, we are going to get our HUD, and we're going to get our use item query. Move this a bit so I can put this here, and then we'll plug in our index to ref here. And then we'll remove from our parent. And that will be all. So we'll hit compile, we'll go back to the event graph. One last thing we're going to do here, we're going to right click and go event on mouse leave. So whenever the mouse leaves the widget, we want it to remove from parent. There it is. Boom. So that'll help keep it organized. So if we leave that slot that we have pulled up this UI widget on, then we can click on another one, and then we're going to set that widget slot as the use item index versus it just staying up and available at all times. All right, let's do the rest of our work inside our HUD class. UI, HUD class, and let's go back to our widgets to spawn, and we're going to make another... Oh boy. I've never had a sequence this long before. It's ugly, isn't it? Do that, maybe. Okay. Do that, and then we're going to do create widget. Oh, wait, that is not the node we want. Create widget. There we go. And that'll be the action menu. That'll be, promote that to a variable. Action menu. Okay. We're not adding it to viewport, and we're not setting the visibility. It's going to be different than the other ones we've done already. We are going to go back to our event graph. And let's move these up here. All these things are doing stuff. We are now going to make a custom event. Custom event. And we're going to call this action menu open. This needs to have a index, which will be an integer, and it will need a quantity. Alrighty. So first thing we need to do is we need to get our action menu, which we can make as a part of our widgets, as we've done before. Oh, there it is. I was like, where'd it go? We're going to get our action menu. We're going to get a node called isInViewport. And this will double check to see if it's been added to the viewport or not. Okay, so out of the true branch, we want to, if it is in viewport, we want to remove from parent, because otherwise, if we're trying to open this again, because we're going to open it by clicking on the slot in our inventory. So if we're trying to open this again, it's already on viewport. That means that we're clicking on a different slot, which means we should get rid of this widget. So from action menu, we're going to set index to ref. Plug that in. And we are going to make a reroute node here. We're going to set quantity as well. Keep all this as neat as possible. There we go. Okay. So that'll set our stuff inside action menu so that when we actually run our use item slot, it has all the correct information. Okay, next we need to add our action menu to the viewport. Okay. And after that, we're going to set the position of our widget. So in order to do that, we need to get our action menu. And we need to drag out and get our button area. We need to drag out a button area, and we need to slot as canvas slot. So this is going to take our canvas panel, and it's going to slot it based on the information that it's getting from that. All right, so we'll drag out of this, and we are going to get mouse position on viewport. And we'll drag out a canvas slot, and we're going to set position. And we'll drag this into here. So it's going to get the position of our mouse in the viewport, and then it's going to set the button area's canvas slot to that position. And that's how we make it appear over top of the slot that we want to use. All right. We do need to make a event dispatcher inside our inventory menu. So we're going to go into our widgets, and we're going to open our inventory menu. We need to go to the graph, and we need to go to event dispatchers, and we need to go to close menu is what we'll call it. Okay, we'll drag that out to the end of show mouse cursor, and we're going to call this event. Okay, so this is for the exit button. So if we exit out of our inventory menu, so that's like the big X, right? This guy here. So we click on that. While we have any of the other UI stuff open, we want to be able to remove it from our inventory. That's what we're going to do here. So now we're going to grab our inventory menu. And we're going to get the menu, close menu, event dispatcher, and we're going to assign it. So this is going to bind that event to this event that we're making right now. And all we want to do is we're going to get our action menu. We're going to remove from parent, and then next video we'll add the remove from parent for our Dropbox that we're going to make. Okay, next we need to go back, we need to go into our inventory slot. So first I'll compile this, make sure it's all good. Yep, there we go. We're going to go into our inventory slot. We're going to go into our graph. We need to make some new code here. So this is setting all of our data for our inventory slot. But now we need to go and we need to get that event construct event back that we deleted earlier in the tutorial series. Okay, and now we need to actually do something with the button that we made eons ago. So we'll get our mouse button. And we're going to assign on clicked. You can also do, if you want to, I don't really care personally, but you can, before you do assign on clicked, you can do assign on hovered and unhovered, and then change the mouse from hand to default, but like I said, I don't care about that personally. But you can pause the video and do that if you like. Okay, so on clicked, we are going to get a branch. And the first thing we want to check before we open our action menu is our slot empty? Because if our slot's empty, then we don't want to open up a menu to do stuff with that slot. Right, so after that, we will grab our HUD, which I don't think we just got to add it here, it looks like. So I get actor of class. And that'll be the HUD class. Promote that to variable HUD class. Okay, after that, we will get our HUD, and we will action menu open. All right, and here's where we're going to pass our information through. So we're going to get our inventory index, and we'll plug that into index, and we will get our quantity, and we'll plug that into quantity. All right, I believe that's all we need to do, so I'm going to just open this. All right, so we'll run over and test it out. We'll, I guess we'll just pick up all these potions and see what happens. Well, so you can see we can open this up and it works. It literally will work until... So yeah, there was an example where like I left before kind of initialized and now I'm on other slots, and if I click, it'll remove that from parent and then it'll add it over here. So it should, every time I click on this, be setting the use item, but we'll use item. I did gain health, and the number went down over here, but funny enough, it didn't go down here. And the reason for that is because we've never actually used an item in our inventory with our inventory open, so we're not calling the open inventory event, because you'll notice if I close this and then open it, it's updated, even though it's in 0, that should be over here. Anyways, we'll figure that out in a second. But yeah, you can see that it's updated now, and that's because every time we open our inventory, we're getting the event open inventory, which refreshes all of our slots. So it doesn't do that when we have it open yet. So in order to fix that, we need to go into our HUD class, and we need to go into our item management. Right at the end of the used item where it has refresh item slot, that's why the quick use item slot updated, is because we have that node. But we need to open inventory. And if you remember, all this does is, if you open this up, it calls this display inventory event. All it does is refresh the slots. So it's not like gonna close your inventory or do anything weird like that. So yeah, that's let's check that out and make sure that that works. So we're gonna just get all the potions again. We'll do this one. Ooh, interesting. That'll have something to do with the use item slot. So why don't we just do this? We'll do a little bit of a debug sesh here. We will go to HUD class, and we will go to item management, and then we will go to I want to see, let's add a breakpoint here. Oh, I can't, I have to add it here. Add breakpoint. I want to see what this use item index is. Right now it's 0. And then if I were to use this, the use index now is 4. Okay, well, let's keep that going. Oh, now it works. That's bizarro. Now it's 4. What if I do, like, this one? Oh, okay, now it works. Alright, well, one thing we can do to make sure that it does do what we want is we can go to our inventory slot. So the action menu is asking for an inventory index, which this, I believe, is set... Oh, hang on. Oh, this isn't exposed on spawn, so let's do that. And we're going to compile, and then we're going to go to inventory grid, because that's what spawns these. And we'll plug array index into inventory index, and then that'll make sure that that sets it all correctly. Let's just doubly check that we're doing it all right here. We'll do apple. Use item. Sorry, my other screen, it hit that breakpoint, I just removed it. Apple's gone. We'll do meat. Meat's gone. Boom. Okay, it's all updating correctly, so yeah, just make sure you do that last thing. I'm glad I caught that, because, yeah. Anyways, so there, now you have use item functionality and this little thing here, and that should work great. In the next video, we will do the drop function. So we'll hit drop item, and then another box will come up that'll say drop how many. I'll show it over here now so you guys can see, and that box itself will probably take like 10-15 minutes, so I'm going to do that, maybe a little bit of scripting, and then probably split it into a second video, because the scripting for the drop is just like insane. There's just so much. But anyways, by the end of it, we'll be able to drop an item and tell it how much we want to drop, and then it'll spawn that item in the world, and it'll look just like this, and it'll have however many items you dropped set as the quantity. So if you were to pick it up again, it would, like, so example, we dropped 10 potions, and then we'd go pick it up, it'd be picking up 10 potions. So yeah, that's what's coming up in the next video there, so make sure you like, subscribe, and get ready to do some more fun things. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.